For this third section, we're going to be using analogous colors. So those are 2 or 3 colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. And instead of cutting up shapes this time, I want you to try ripping up your shapes and seeing how that's going to look, because it is going to create a different feel in this value scale and on your final portrait. The nice thing about ripping up your sections too is that you can change and adjust the size, which you could do with your other shapes, but using this to kind of rip up pieces that are going to fit in those larger areas of value are going to help really make you create your project a little bit quicker. You can layer things or layer detail. So you could start out on your final project with your portrait layering in larger sections of value, and then on top of that you could rip up smaller pieces to fill in even smaller areas of detail and value. So definitely something to think about when you get to your final project is the different sizes that you want to work with, how you want to overlap things, and then adding that layer detail with how detailed do you want to get with your value change and each of the facial features that you'll be working with. But I'm going from my red into my orange here, so I did add multiple layers. I went back after I added my orange in and added a little bit more red, and at the end I'm going to be using yellow. So when you do work with your analogous colors going from dark to light, definitely pick out the color that's going to be the darkest to start in your darker value. So red is obviously just a natural darker color than yellow. Yellow feels brighter, so I'm going to be using that in my lighter section versus red in the dark section. And then I'm also going in with my black and white tissue paper ripped up just to emphasize that value change even more. The tissue paper is nice because it is transparent or slightly more transparent than the construction paper. So you can see some of those values underneath. So even though I'm adding white, it feels like it's mixed with the yellow and orange. So it's creating more of that smooth transition using tissue paper. But think about what materials you do want to use. Same with the last two, you don't have to just use tissue paper, so consider construction paper, dripped up book pages, magazines. You can do a painting of these colors, so lots of different directions and options to choose from. But try out and see this ripped effect using analogous colors. So do you like these colors being a little bit smooth, more smooth of a fade versus the complementary colors that are going to have more of that contrasting harsh feel on your final portrait? So think about which of these color schemes you like the best that's going to work for your final when you get there.